All right. Onward to the daily grind. I forgot what I said I wanted to do. If I wanted to start off right away on Simulated Universe. I don't think I want to. Probably just maybe grind some decent relics. I think that's the smartest thing to do. I don't necessarily need Simulated Universe stuff. Alright. Hey, Savannah. I've been wondering how successful writing comedy would even be, although that would put me in a different category, just chatting, which, I don't know. Would people go on to Twitch to look for people? I mean, what do you go on to Twitch chatting for, right? Politics, maybe? Maybe singing? Who knows? Just chatting is just chatting. I don't know what people go on there for. ASMR, maybe? I remember that was a big thing. Yeah. I could do my best impression of like Japanese, like the male characters. Ara ara, doushita no koneko-chan. Not bad, right? Engineering noises. I think that's the sound of crying. I ain't gonna hold you. Hey, Super Xian. Or Xian? I think it's Xian. Dude, I popped into your VODs yesterday because I wanted to see the stuff that you streamed. And I saw you were like damn near 1600 on chess.com, which is like pretty impressive. The guy that I watch play chess, he was like 1500s. Oh, nice. The game's really fun, isn't it? Or let me know what you think about the game so far. Like, the honeymoon phase, to me, for Genshin was a lot more fun. But now that we've had Genshin, the standards are like really high, right? So I think Genshin kind of desensitize my standards a little bit, but I think overall this game is a little more fun. You're saying now? That's crazy. Because I feel like that's pretty cracked. Yeah, I feel like for especially because you like playing chess, that makes a lot more sense. You know, you gotta think a little bit more about your turns and skill usage and all that stuff. Sorry, I was just determining how I wanted to finish up the... I'm a little stingy with my ults. I don't like using my ults, especially if it's not like on an important battle. Like in the event I have to face like a boss. Ugh. It sucks. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, I see. Yeah, I told you, or I promised that I would tell you like a Filipino joke the next time you came back. So I could tell you, the thing is, I don't know like pure Tagalog jokes. I know like Tagalog English jokes where you kind of tell them in English, but they have like, I guess they're Taglish more so. But I feel like they were made for English speakers. Maybe Philams made the jokes. I have no idea. So the question was, or like some of the jokes are like puto jokes. Blah, blah, blah. Puto jokes. So you know, if you have puto, if this is puto, then you know, you have puto and puto, right? Ano ba to? This is puto. You have another puto. Ano to? I promise you'll be the most popular person at the dinner table when you tell these jokes. Consumable and a daily. We can do this too. Okay, let's do that. I guess you could also stream this game too. Pretty stream friendly. Oh, you know about that one? Alright. But certainly you haven't heard about my stories from the Philippines. I lost track of what I wanted to do. Oh, it's a golden calyx. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh yeah? What'd you do? Did you die in the tutorial? Oh, you guys are all offloading each other. You're like, I'm done streaming, you stream. And you're like, I'm done streaming, you stream. It's like the Spider-Man meme, right? Where everyone's like pointing at each other. Like, you take these guys. Cool. Now I just need to eat something or inflict weakness. I think weakness break just comes naturally, so I don't need to use a consumable. Raiding end streams. Yeah, the train will never stop. So let's continue farming relics. Do that. That's cool. Did you play the game for... I honestly thought that would kill. That's on me. Did you play the game for a while? I imagine you did. Once you start, you can't really stop. So I'm going to leave this guy as fodder for Sela, so I'll shield my main character here. So I know that you have March, because she's, you know, free to play, but if you didn't know, March's shield ability, so I put a shield on my main character, also gives that shielded character an extra 30% taunt. So this character has a higher taunt value. They don't really explain it, I think, in the tutorial or the game, but each path has a different taunt value. So, you know, Sela has the path of the hunt. I don't know if you can... No, it's not here. So, Sela's hunt path, Natasha's abundance path, and then these two characters are preservation path. So preservation has the highest taunt value, which means they are more likely to get hit, which is why I have both of my preservation characters on either end, because when the enemy does an AoE hit, if I had my taunt characters in the middle, they would hit both sides, but with your taunt character on the side, it would only hit only one other character. But because my main character has a taunt from March's shield, and also the highest taunt value, I put Natasha here on this side because she has the highest health value. So, you know, she can take the hit more often than Sela can, which is why Sela's here. But they don't really explain that in the game. Yeah, the dragon... Oh, yeah, okay, the first boss. Okay. It's cool. And then... So yeah, I'm leaving this guy up for fodder, so I can kill with Sela. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of chip damage here, so that I can probably kill it with, one of other Sela's moves. Oh, so you'll see these guys, after they hit, they get a shield. So these stoplights, you'll see them in world... Actually, I think this is the first world, the ice world, where you landed and you found Jeopard. So these guys, when they hit you, they gain a shield. But because they hit my main character who has a shield, and March has a skill where if somebody gets hit while they're shielded, she'll do a follow-up attack. So what's good about that is now I don't have to waste time hitting their shield off because March's follow-up attack already knocked their shield off. So that was just an extra bonus that I got from that. So here's my plan. I left this guy alive so I can kill him with Sela. So I get the follow-up attack for free. And now I'll kill one of these guys. And then he blows up. He taunted all of my guys, so I can only target him for an attack, which is kind of annoying because I wanted to kill this guy before he explodes. But I guess I'll just have to take that. So follow-up attack with March knocks that shield off. And then now, I just have to accept the fact that this guy's gonna explode. So I'm gonna taunt just to make sure that he hits my main character. So when he explodes, he's only going to hit Natasha as splash. So there it is. So it's just like, it's for that exact reason. So only Natasha was hit. So my CeeLo was okay. I'm gonna kill him anyway with Seela, so I'd rather just make sure I definitely do that. So I'm gonna pass with March so I don't hit him and kill him with Seela. Just to get the meter gain. There we go. So everyone's full meter again. Oh, this is like okay. I mean, defense is kind of booty. Effect resist is not great. And on this set piece, I don't like these substats. I mean, it's got 4 lines of stats, crit damage with a crit rate, but the other substats are just not worth it. Okay. Moikai. I mean, like, I really don't want to do that. Let's see, what else was there? So what I recommend is, so the main character when you first start out is a physical attacker, and they're not great. I think their damage is subpar, and you really only use them to break an enemy's weakness, like their shields. But when you get to, it's just like Genshin. When you get to the next world, you'll unlock like a new element for your main character, which is fire. And when you switch to fire, you get, you get taunt, you get to generate shields for all of your characters. I can show you as well. Let me just clear here. Or let me get to my main character and I can show you what I'm talking about. But the short answer to that question is, it is actually okay to level up your main character in this game, unlike Genshin. So here you can see the main characters to it. Well, it's just like everyone else. They have basic attack and their skill. What their skill does is it taunts the enemies, and it also gives you a damage reduction buff. So when they hit you, you take a lot less damage. But another really cool thing about the main character is when you use your ultimate or your basic attack or your shields, you will generate a very small amount of shields for your entire team based on the main character's, I think, defense. It's either defense or HP stat. And you'll see this. Every time you get hit, you gain 1 stack. And when you have 4 stacks, when you use a basic attack, you'll do an AoE hit. So you'll hit the left and the right characters as well. So essentially, the main character is great for being a taunt character. It also has the fire element, which is kind of rare at the moment because there's only like Asta and Himiko, which is a 5-star standard character. And it's great for survivability. It's free to play. Like, I think the max you can get for constellations at the moment is E5. I mean, it's free because you get them as you play the game. And because you can refresh the shield. So for example, here, I'll just continue. I'll show you what I mean. So strategy-wise, right? Let's say you have shields at the end of your turn before the enemy attacks. So if the enemy does an AoE hit here, you can queue up your ultimate after this attack, and your ultimate will refresh your team shields. You can see my team still has a tiny bit of shields. So you can refresh your team shields after the first attack. So when the second attack hits, you know, if it's another AoE or he attacks somebody else, at least you'll have shields for that hit too. So I think the main character is definitely worth leveling up in this game, unlike Genshin. Suitenai ne. I think a lot of the fundamentals that you learn from Genshin, like when not to use your resin, what substats you want on your artifacts, what talents to prioritize, I think all of that is the same. But in Genshin, all the free characters, not all of them, but like, you know, you have Amber, Lisa, Kaya, and main character at the beginning of the game. Yeah, actually all of them. They're all complete trash. But in this game, as of now, the characters that you get for free, which I have right now, March, Natasha, and main character, they're quite good. In fact, I would even argue that like they're top tier. They're better than, if not equal to, some of the 5-star characters on the standard banner. Like, oh, you gotta let me know who you get for your first 5-star, because, you know, you get the guarantee 5-star when you first start the game from your starter banner. But, like, as cool as Himiko is, I think she's actually pretty trash. Ouch. But yeah, your fundamentals of Genshin will definitely carry through in this game. Yeah, you get you get your I mean, you get your guaranteed 5-star within 50 pulls of the beginner banner. In Genshin, they had the same exact thing where there was like a beginner banner, and your first pull you were guaranteed Noelle, for example. I think this is okay. Got a break effect substat, HP. You're guaranteed Noelle, and in this game, when you pull, you're guaranteed Asta for your first one. And yeah, so in Genshin, there was a strategy where you could speedrun the beginning, and it took about 20-25 minutes to get all the pulls for the standard banner. And a lot of people, and they would stream it on Twitch too, they would try to reroll to get 2 5-stars from the beginner banner for their starting. But in this game, yeah, in this game they made it a lot. It's not hard, but they made it take a lot longer to get to that point where you get enough tickets to get your first 5-star. I think for me it took like 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours to get to the point where I got all the tickets and like sufficient tickets to pull on the banner. So it does take a while, unless you get lucky and get a 5-star like before the pity. And another really cool thing that they have in this game that they don't have in Genshin is when you go to the standard banner, if you go to, there's like a little button here that says additional rewards. You get to pick a character for free when you roll 300. And these are all like free tickets that I've used so far. So that's pretty cool. I'm almost halfway there to getting any character I want from the standard banner. I'd probably pick Bronya if I had to choose one. But I hear Gepard is insanely good. I already have Bailu and Clara. And here's the reason I think that Himiko is really bad. What do I have? Here, let's... Like, even if you look at her light cone, I got really unlucky. With the standard banner, I pulled her light cone twice. I don't even want this character. But if you look at her light cone, it says, for every enemy on the field, increase the wearer's attack up to 5 stacks. But it's like, if you're doing endgame content, there's usually only like one guy on the field. So you're actually at a disadvantage for using this weapon. Because it's conditional, you have to have more people on the field. You want to get rid of them. So, like, maybe if they summon other guys, but then you're just going to clear them away in like one AoE hit, and then you're back to a weapon with subpar stats. Even the free weapon gives you like 20% attack. Why would you want... I don't know. I don't think that Himiko is very good, and her weapon kind of exemplifies that. That you have this conditional statement for an attack increase. And it's a negative one. If it was the other way around, where the less enemies there were, that would make it better. I don't know. I don't have Himiko, I'm just being very nitpicky. But she's a 5-star character, and that weapon is a 5-star weapon. I just don't... Blech. I got carried away, sorry. How much energy do I have? 40. I kind of want to leave this guy as fodder again for Sela, so I'm just gonna do a basic attack here and then ult the main boss. Oh, that's good. I don't want to come off as... Oh, I got taunted. Oh, Sela didn't get taunted. I don't want to come off as like a, you know, some know-it-all, like a meta slave. Like, something that I very much disliked about Genshin is you could run with Raiden National or any top tier team and clear Abyss no matter what the meta was. It didn't matter who they put in there. You could always put Raiden National on one team and then like Zhongli and Ayaka on the other team. Something. Like it would always work no matter what because the meta was, you know, those characters are the best. But in this game, because elements matter so much more, I mean, yes, we're very early in the game, but elements matter more in this game than they do in Genshin. Characters still have their niches that they can fill. So I like seeing people using underused characters because it's fun to watch. It's a challenge. Something that, you know, Genshin ended up not really presenting anymore. Yeah, Serval, I pulled her too. I was not too happy about it, but from what I understand, a lot of the free-to-play players, like, okay, so like currently I'm out of resin and I'm like at the end game content. So what a lot of the Honkai Star Rail people have done is they have their main account, you know, where they paid, they rolled or whatever, and then they've also started a free-to-play account because that's more Honkai Star Rail content for them, right? But from what I understand, Serval is like one of the best free-to-play characters that's available right now. She has like good damage and lightning is pretty useful for like dot damage. So if you're looking for like good damage output from like a free character, especially because Serval has AoE damage, then I think that's actually a very good character to have. I'm so close. I think I will spend a little bit of fuel to get to 44 because I'm like at the cusp of 44. I need 140 more experience to level. Yeah. How much do I get from this? 200? Oh, I'll do it. Oh no, I was gonna say, you could add me, but I imagine, I think there's like an Oceania server. I think that's what it's called. I'll probably play on that. Now, I will say the game is a lot easier with good old Sela here. But I hear that the new 5-star coming out in a week is also going to be insanely good. I think he looks really cool too. Like, he reminds me of freaking Madara. He looks so cool. Yeah, so I started playing the game. Sorry, I started playing Genshin because of Keqing. I loved Keqing's design. Lightning is my favorite element, and I love the way her ult looks. And that's exactly why I played this game, is because Seela's ult looks like Keqing's ult. And she's kind of similar. Even in Genshin, I was always a Keqing main since day one, even though her damage was subpar until the release of Dendro characters, which buffed like a bunch of the lightning characters. But, yeah, I never played Raiden. I didn't really care for her playstyle. But Raiden was also really cool. Her ult was pretty sick. I love the animations, the ult animations. They're so nice. Oh, right, I just leveled. So, let's go visit Pom Pom. By the way, whenever you talk to Pom Pom, he has these, like, little quests, like, with these exclamation points, but they don't give you anything. They don't give you experience. They don't give you an achievement. They don't give you anything. So, like, I guess you could do these side quests if you want. They take, like, 20 seconds. But really, it's just like, I don't know, they're trying to make Pom Pom seem cute with all these, like, ridiculous quests. Whatever. Oh yeah, for a superconducting team. That's pretty good for the physical shred. Oh wait, give me my quests. Eula's pretty cool too. Sweet. You know what I've noticed is that when Genshin Impact was being released, there was a lot of fan art. Like, you had a lot of art of, like, obviously Keqing, and you had fan art of, like, Mona and Amber. But I don't see as much fan art for this game. And I guess if I had to say something, the characters in Genshin do look a little better than the characters in Star Rail so far. Like, maybe they just look a little bland. Maybe. I mean, Seela looks kind of cool. But yeah, I just don't see as much fan art for this game as I do for Genshin. Yeah, Fischl had a cool design too. Oh, right. I just got a 5-star piece. Ooh, defense percent. Pretty good. And a speed stat. I think I will switch to that. I will switch to this as well. Break effect. It's okay, I'll switch to that. And then here, I can go ahead and just recycle that old purple piece there. Then I guess I can just use this as well. Some of this old stuff that I'm not using. Maximize on the experience. Let's save those. Defense, that's hella good. Yeah, I think everyone agrees. Like, I get why. Like, there's no reason to jump, but it would still be nice to jump. Because, you know, the game is very planar. It's very two-dimensional. So there's no need for a Z dimension. but I agree that even every game has the ability to jump. Like, if I wanted to jump on this table or whatever, but you can't. And yeah, like, this game is a little more niche. A lot more people, I feel like a lot more people would be attracted to, oh my god, I have 467 ping. But yeah, I feel like this game is a little more niche. Because not as many people would be into like a TBS. You know, an MMO, especially with Genshin, because you can play with your friends. Not that there's like incentive to, because there's nothing that really needs or warrants co-op, but you can play with your friends. But here, if you were to play with your friends in like a TBS setting, are you gonna let your friends like choose their move and then you choose their move? Maybe in a PvP aspect that would work, but in PvE, it's... yeah. So I can see why this game doesn't have as big of a fan base as Genshin. In fact, I predict that after the first 1 or 2 major updates, this game will fall off pretty hard. Not like to the depths of like, you know, 200 viewers, but I believe that Genshin has more sustain than this game. I feel like you're not alone. I have a feeling that everybody, as soon as they loaded up the game, tried hitting spacebar to jump. I think at this rate, it'll take me about 3 days to level up, to get enough experience to level up. Let's check if there's any puzzles on the map that I forgot about. Oh, another thing that I don't like, and not necessarily about the gameplay, but something I don't like is the music in this game. This game needs better music. Genshin definitely has superior music. I guess I could look up where these treasure chests are. These maps are huge, man. And I have to check every nook and cranny for one thing. Blech. I don't want to do that. Come on. So, excuse me while I do totally legitimate things on the side here. Alright. Is it this? No. Huh? Nah. Well, I play on the Americans. I have 400 ping. Good thing this game's TBS. In North America servers, all of my friends that play from like the West Coast also have very bad ping, which is pretty unfortunate. What? No, I want... There we go. Man, this is annoying. I wish there was like a... an easier guide to this. What? All right. I'm missing a treasure, a singular treasure. Yeah, the game works fine. It's just, it's a turn-based strategy game, so it's not a huge deal. The only issue I could see that happening, or having that being effective, is when you're playing the game, when the enemy attacks and you need to interrupt their attack with your ultimate, if your ping is too high, then it might not register. That's kind of the only issue I could see with having high ping, but other than that, yeah, I don't see it as being an issue. Poisonally. Okay, so I got that one. I got that. And then there's one here. What kind of music do you listen to? Do you listen to like OPM or other music? K-pop, J-pop? Supposed to be one like over here somewhere. K-pop? Oh yeah. Is that a bot? I might have to ban you. Michelle? You think that's creative? You think that's funny? Anime's cool. I think what's cool about listening to a song in a different language is if you don't understand the words they're saying, then the lyrics almost act like an instrument, right? Assuming they have a nice voice that you'd want to listen to, but it acts as like another instrument, which kind of adds to the song in general. Because like, I don't know, I get tired of hearing love songs and whatever. People sing about the same thing no matter what language it's in. It's not like, you know, the Koreans sing about like having a bad day and the Japanese people sing about like hanging out with friends. That doesn't happen. Like, it's always about like love or breakups or money and hoes, I guess. Imagine like an anime opening about that kind of stuff. What's a song that you can relate to? Let's hear a good song recommendation. It's like a song that you listen to at like the gym or at school. I forgot to ask you, what are you studying? I remember you said that you were going to school. I'm a big fan of education. Boost your confidence. It's like rap. Listen to some hard music just to pump yourself up. Oh, lyrics, okay. Oh, there's a puzzle over there. I seen it. Okay, a fellow engineer, EE. Or I guess in America we say an Aleki. Aha! Got it. That was the last treasure I needed. Kanji. What? I want to go that way. Yeah, of course. I'm a mechie myself, mechanical engineering, so that's cool. Cool, there's two puzzles here. Engineering's hard, man. I had a friend... Let's rotate this. And then I can rotate the top. Like this. I learned a lot from the engineers. A lot of my friends in the Philippines when studying. So I would often ask them, like, what are your plans after college? What do you plan on doing? Because, you know, a lot of people, they would leave, you know, they'd go to a different country, like a Western country, America, Europe, because the pay is better. And I remember one of my classmates, you know, also mechanical engineering, he was like, I love my country of the Philippines, and the reason that the Philippines is in the state that it is because a lot of the engineers, a lot of the best engineers from the Philippines leave. It's kind of like the mangoes that are imported, or sorry, exported from the Philippines. Other countries get the best mangoes from the Philippines because the Philippines wants to sell their best products. So in that same sense, Filipinos that learn engineering go abroad because there's better pay, but only the best Filipinos can really just get, or in any sense, and the best engineers from any country. They go to a different country for better opportunity, which leaves less engineers in the country itself. So I had one person in my ear tell me that, and I thought that was very profound thinking to say that. Um, so I don't know if it's helpful, but when I was studying in the Philippines, when I first started mechanical engineering, I'm looking up guides on the side here because I do not want to search all of this on my own. Exalting Santa, Cloudford, Stargazer. Here we go. So, when I was in the Philippines and I started my mechanical engineering degree, my class had like maybe 90 students, which is a pretty good amount, I think. Yeah, I think my starting year had like maybe 90 mechanical engineering students. And by the time I graduated, there were probably about 15 left. A lot of the students there either gave up because of financial reasons or academic reasons. They had failed too many classes and they felt behind. I'm so distracted. There it is. Okay. Yeah. I know that's a thing in the Philippines, especially because in the Philippines, there's this thing that I haven't seen in other parts of or at least here in America, where a lot of jobs are divided into multiple parts. So for example, if you're going to S&M or any department store for that matter, when you go to the grocery store or when you go shopping for like clothes, there's one person that helps find the clothes, another person that scans the clothes, and another person that like bags your clothes. Like one job is divided among 3 people. So it creates more jobs, but in that same sense, you then have a higher demand and a higher turnover rate. Like, I know the Philippines does this thing where if you work for 6 months, that you are supposed to get like insurance. So what like S&M does and other companies is after 5.5 months, they'll rotate you to a different department so that you're not continuously working that same job for 6 months, so they can avoid that. There's a lot of stipulations that I've seen in the Philippines that I haven't really seen here. So I can imagine that's why the standard is so high, because the jobs are divided into so many different sections, which creates more jobs even though they're superfluous, but that's because the demand for these jobs is so high. Going back to failure, by the time I finished in Mapua, there were about 15 students or so. And one of my friends that I knew, same year, also still in mechanical engineering, he actually, from what I understand, he died from a heart failure because of like all the stress from studying. But it's definitely not an easy subject. And there were many days that I woke up and I just kind of laid in bed because I did not want to go to school. It was extremely stressful for me, and that was on top of me not wanting to remain in the Philippines for other reasons. But yeah, school was stressful, and I also I did fail a couple of times. I failed calculus. It was calculus 2 or 3, and then I also failed advanced mathematics for engineering. And I didn't give up though, because I wanted to finish my education. I knew that it was important to do so. And I ended up finishing my education in America. But and I tell my friends this all the time when they're searching for jobs when they just finished graduating, is you should never settle. So you know, I worked hard to get my degree, so I know that the job that I want is a mechanical engineering job. I'm not going to settle to be like a barista. Like, I worked all this time to make an engineering degree, mechanical engineering, no less, because a lot of my friends and a lot of people I knew, they dropped out of mechanical engineering and went to civil engineering, and that's kind of like the butt of the joke, because civil engineering is just, it's kind of the easy way out. Like, if you don't think you can make it in mechanical or chemical or electrical engineering, you choose civil engineering because it's a lot easier. It's just more trust issues. You don't have to deal with the strength of materials or thermal exchange, or you don't have to do like PIDs. It's a lot less of that. Yeah, like I said, there were days where I woke up and I didn't even want to get out of bed, like the weight of having to do that. And here's another thing is that as a spoiled ass American, when I went to the Philippines, a lot of the things that I did, like thermal charts, the saturation point, the dew point of things, a lot of those charts were on paper. So we would have these giant charts on paper, and here in America, when I finished my degree here, everything was online. The teacher was like, oh, just go on your laptop and Google that. But in the Philippines, everything was done manually. The calculators that you guys have, or at least when I was there, the most advanced calculator was a scientific calculator. I had a graphing calculator. I could perform integral calculus with my calculator. I could do integrals. I mean, of course, I couldn't do that on a test. I had to do it by hand, but it was so much easier because of the advanced technology that is available here. So it feels a lot harder. You will know more than you need to. But yeah, and I support you graduating, absolutely. But I'm telling you, when you do apply for a job, I want you to know that you will be more qualified than people in other countries that rely on technology, because you will have a fundamental understanding of the thing that you are studying. So for me, when I look at charts, or like steam charts, for example, or I need to think about like thermal, the rate of heat exchange, these concepts make more sense to me because I didn't have to look up that answer. I didn't have to Google that. So for example, let's take the whole internet sensation. How much do you have to slap a chicken for it to cook, right? Because when you slap something, it's a transfer of heat energy, right? But the amount of, so you could take the simple equation Q equals mc delta T, right? Which is Q is like the thermal energy, M is mass, C is whatever. Delta T is a change in time. So essentially it's the amount of time it would take and the specific energy of the chicken to heat up, and you get your Q. So if you have Q, because you know how much energy you need to cook the chicken, you know the mass of the chicken, so you can kind of work out the last variable, you would get your answer. But even though you have that answer, the amount of time it would take, if you were to instantaneously heat the chicken up with that energy, that would be an explosion. It would be like 2 tons of TNT. You wouldn't cook the chicken, you would explode the chicken, right? So as an engineer, you know that that change in time, that delta T, is an important variable. But in a calculator, if you just put in that information, you would get an answer. You would just spit out an answer for you. There's a lack of critical thinking involved in that. And that's why I think you will be more qualified in your position than more people I know. I don't know if that was... when I talk about subjects, sometimes I get passionate and carried away. So, yes, knowledge is power. Okay. Ugh. I'm drinking this like chai tea. I don't like tea at all, but I figured I'd try it. It's like a dirty chai. It is not good. I like coffee. I have a high addiction to coffee. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm not just babbling to you. But yeah, I hope you continue with your education. In fact, the person that was in here earlier that I was talking to, she is also studying electrical engineering, and she's very, very close to graduating, and I've been very excited and supportive of that because as a fellow engineer, I know that it's extremely frustrating and difficult. I mean, engineers are the innovators of science. Engineers take the application of science to create new things, invent new things, like the MRI system, magnetic resonance imaging, that was originally created to see the nuclei of the stars in space. It was a scientific application, and it took a clever engineer to take that invention and think to themselves, what if we could use this for humans? And now there is an MRI in every major hospital in the world. The engineers are the movers. They're the innovators. Of course, engineering is important. And I say that as I'm streaming a video game. I'm like, I want to be a streamer, but I spent time in the engineering field, so I feel like I know, I contributed. I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Let me play my games, damn it. Oh, I see it. There it is. Yeah. That's, so, oh, here, I won't take it just yet. My game volume might be a little low, but can you hear it? You'll know you're near a treasure chest if you hear this sound. It's a little quiet. But that might help you in the future if you're hunting for treasure chests. But yeah, so that's my goal as a variety streamer is I do comedy, I love anime, I play games, and as an engineer, I feel like I can give a lot of insight to the field of science and engineering. So I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, I guess, as I can talk about a lot of different things and hopefully make it interesting to those that are listening. Or, best case scenario, put you to sleep. You put me on in the background, it's late at night, you don't care what I'm playing, you just want to go to sleep. Okay, let's last one. The Lao Fu. Where am I? Artisan Commission. I'll check up here first. Don't mind me, good sir. Oh, dead end. Ugh, dead end. Alright. You know, you say that, and when I was in the Philippines, a lot of people, the reason I don't speak Tagalog is because a lot of people in the Philippines speak English. Even if it's not perfect English, I understand what they were trying to say, what they wanted to say. And a lot of the call centers in America, you know, customer support, we no longer use like Indians as tech support, but Filipinos. They have, you know, they have very strong English. And when I was there, more people were interested in learning English from me than they were teaching me Tagalog, which is why I don't really speak Tagalog, is no one needed to teach me Tagalog because their English was sufficient. Bicol. Let's see. Sige, Tagalog na lang. But you are at, again, like I said, not only are your fundamentals in engineering going to be stronger than the people that studied here in America, but you're at an advantage because you can speak multiple languages. You can express scientific ideas in more than one language, which means if it ever came to it, you could also represent engineering firms or other businesses in other parts of the Philippines. You could represent the Philippines and the, you know, English-speaking side of whatever your product or whatever it is you're trying to do. That's a major advantage. They say that English is the language of business. So in order to... I feel like I've been here. So in order to sell your products, to be able to express that idea is very valuable. So I would not belittle your... I think I hear it. I would not belittle your ability to speak English, because I can promise you that your English is far better than the English used in other countries, and certainly better than my Tagalog. But I also understand what you're saying, because there are words in your language, whether it's Tagalog or Bicol or Visayan or whatever, Japanese, French. Oh, there it is. There are words in your language that do not exist in English, so you cannot express yourself in the way that you would like to. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of languages, right? There are words that exist in your language that do not exist in other languages. Ooh, there's a puzzle over there. I also believe that languages represent what the culture values. For example, I don't think I can actually go here. It looks like it's closed off, and it's probably part of the next story mode, because there's no... Oh, wait, right here. I can go from here. Yeah, as long as you understand, then that's all that matters. How do I get here? I wish I could put a marker like you can in Genshin, but you can't do it in this game. This way? I'll find my way. For example, in Tagalog, if you wanted to say something is good, the only word to express that something is good, I don't even have to say it. I feel like you already thought of the word in your head, the word that I'm thinking of. That is how few words there are to express that idea. Good. It's like, sarap, right? That's the one word that you could use to express that. However, if you were to ask somebody in America to describe, say, food, there is a spectrum of words we use to describe. We can say it's good, we can say it's delicious, we can say it's amazing, we can say it's, you know, there's other archaic words like scrumptious, but we can say it's okay, which means that we'd eat it, but we wouldn't order it again. Or we could say it's not bad, which means it's, you know, it's good, but it's not as good as, you know, we have a spectrum of ways to express good. But in Tagalog, there is a lack of that ability to express that range. And the same is true with Japanese. There is one word to express that notion. Holy shit! There's one word to express that, which is, there's two. I guess you could say oishi, or you could say umai for like delicious. But in that same sense, Japanese and other languages have words. So in Japanese, there's something you say komorebi, which is the light that filters through tree leaves. There's no English word for that. We don't have a direct translation for that. Or in German, Schadenfreude, the pleasure that you get from watching someone else suffering. There is no specific word for that. There are words in other languages that express ideas that do not exist. And I feel like those words are because that's what the culture values. I think I got carried away there. Okay, so I need to flip this. And I need to get this over here somehow. Oh, I can just rotate the top. There you go. Cool. Oh, I completed all of them. That's right, go sue them. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you find it somewhat interesting. And I'm not just some babbling moron. Cool. No, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Go, man, go! I don't like fighting things in open world, because it's kind of like in Genshin, where it's not like it gives you a ton of experience. You don't really get a ton of materials. It's just kind of a waste of time. So, like, as much as possible, like, just go, man. I ain't trying to fight these things. Sweet. Perfect. I've completed... Oh, there's a puzzle over there that I didn't do. Didn't I just come from there? Alright, dude. Time to go back. Yeah, I spent a great deal of time also, like, studying philosophy, languages. I'm lost. Wasn't I just here? Oh, it's back here. Aha. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? An Eminem song. Ask an analyst. I like how in this game, even though you were created by Kafka and you have no memories of anything whatsoever, your character is just straight out of the MC universe. You're just like some super sarcastic character. Like, we wake up sarcastic. I feel like that's how everybody is in the Marvel universe. What was he saying? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it's great to learn new things. Oh, I see. That reminds me of another conversation that I had. Ooh. Ooh, okay. It sure is. It reminds me of another conversation I had with another one of my engineering classmates in the Philippines. It was the idea that... So there's a saying where any technology, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So that idea means that let's say 50 years ago, if you pulled out your phone, right? It's a supercomputer in the palm of your hand. That would be the equivalent of like witchcraft and wizardry, right? They would resurrect the witch burning trials if you pulled out an iPhone 15 in like the early 50s and 60s, right? Because that kind of technology, you know, like being able to zoom in like with your phone's camera 5 miles away to see something, take HD pictures. In fact, photography was invented in like 1840. I mean, we still had like, you know, black and white film until like the early 1930s. So to have your phone, a supercomputer that can surf the web, take images, that kind of technology would seem like magic because we don't understand it. And I had this kind of, right, we don't know what's possible. But here's the cool thing. When we think about the future, like future technology and things that are going to be invented, it's not that we create the future, it's our imagination. So let's take the hoverboard from Back to the Future or Star Wars, right? Our imagination, we think about these cool scientific ideas, so people in the engineering field and science field then try to recreate these things because we already have an idea, we just try to figure out a way to create it, right? So it's more that our imaginations shape the future, not the other way around. So if any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, I think it's in the sense that when you see a magic trick for the first time, it's incredible. It's amazing because you don't know how it works. But when you find out how the trick works, it's not as cool. You know how it works, you've seen it before, and it just gets boring after that. But if you see a magic show and you don't know how it works, you can watch it over and over again and you would still be amazed. And that's the same with technology. So I presented this idea to my other engineering friends when I was in the Philippines, and I said, the world is it's a beautiful place, but the more that you learn about the world, I feel that it gets less beautiful. For example, when you see a rainbow as a kid, it's this magical concept. There's a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow with a pot of gold. You just need to reach the end of the rainbow. But then as you learn about science and refraction and how light works, Then you realize that a rainbow is only a rainbow from your perspective. You can never reach the end of a rainbow. And then you find out how rainbows are formed. It's the refraction of light and water, because light, the water from the rain acts as a prism. It diffracts the lights in different angles, and you learn about the what is it? The reflection angle. I forget what the acronym for that is, but you learn that light bends at different angles because of its different wavelengths. You learn all these different things about, you know, Newton discovering that white light is comprised of the different colors, and Newton's favorite number was 7, which is why we have 7 colors, even though indigo violet is really just purple. So you learn all these things, and suddenly a rainbow isn't as beautiful anymore, and it's just another thing in the world that you've learned about, just like a magic trick where you've learned how it works. So I presented this idea to my friends, and I was like, do you agree that this is one of the downfalls of learning how things work? And one of my engineering friends kind of thought about it for a few minutes, and he said, you know, I see what you're saying, but when I see a rainbow, it's because I understand how the light diffracts and how a rainbow forms in that shape. And I can understand it at a deeper level. It gives me a deeper appreciation of the rainbow because I can break it into its individual parts, and I can form a picture more clearly in my head whenever I think about it. And to me, I think that is more beautiful than not knowing how it works. And that was just such a good answer. It was such a good answer. Oops. So I need to rotate this like that, but I need this piece to be on top. So let's go like this and rotate this. No, that's not right. Oh, this one's here. So I need... Let's move this out. Put this on the bottom, and then I can rotate this sideways. Huh? Yeah, I've always made the argument that we know more than our ancestors ever could have known. Because, oops, with technology... What? Alright, what if I do this? What? I am boggled. My mind is blown. I'm terrible at this. So what if... Okay, what if I do this and then rotate it? There we go, there we go. Okay, okay, okay. And then I can put it downwards. What? It's there. It's facing that. I'm being robbed blind. Okay, there we go. Right, so there's something that Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about, and he calls it like this... It's like a circle of knowledge, I think is what he called it. The idea is, if you were in the center of a circle, let's say, you know, you're there's a circle and you're standing at the center, there's a boundary for all the knowledge that you could know at the time, right? Let's say back in Isaac Newton's time, because Isaac Newton invented a lot of things, the laws of physics, integral and differential calculus, at the then known law of optics, like he did a lot in his time, right? So let's take that small circle. At that point in time, you could not know these things. There were a lot of things that were beyond your understanding of knowledge at the time. But now, here in the future, that circle of knowledge has expanded. We now know about this. We now know why the planets orbit in an elliptical manner. We know about math, and we know the human body, why things like bleeding and let bleeding doesn't actually cure diseases. We know a lot more than our ancestors ever could have known, which means that if all humans start at the center of that circle of knowledge, no matter what period of time you are, because that circle keeps expanding, that means our ignorance is also expanding because we have further and further in order to reach that limit of knowledge, that circle of knowledge, right? So comparatively speaking to then and now, we know less. Even though we could know more than our ancestors ever could have, comparatively, we know less. Okay. If you weren't a mod, I would ban you right now. Nah, what's up, dude? I bet you didn't expect me to be talking philosophy in here, did ya? Some smart guy, probably. By the way, I don't know if Brennis told you that he wanted to hang out, but I told him that 3 people in this house object to dim sum. You know, I wasn't originally talking about philosophy. I was talking about, so Super Jean is from the Philippines and she's studying electrical engineering as well. I think we went from like games like Honkai Star Rail and chess to engineering, and then eventually that went into philosophy. It actually went into language, because we were talking about, she was talking about her inability to express herself in English, and I said that that's perfectly fine, and that her ability to speak other languages, on top of the fact that she has a better fundamental understanding of engineering, puts her at a better advantageous position, and then it just slowly, you know, went into philosophy. Electronics, that too. It's important because you know how and why things work. From Honkai to philosophy, that's the next segment. From Honkai to philosophy. Too many smart people. There's 3 of us in here. But maybe that's more than enough. I mean, when we think about, you know, great philosophers, it was just one talking amongst the sea of people. I was actually, so I've been asking around, right? I've been asking around, and I was like, when I'm done, because this game is technically kind of like a mobile game in that you have like stamina, so you can only do so much in the game before you're kind of forced to stop playing because you can't do anything else. And I was wondering if, because I wanted to also do like kind of just chatting and then switch to writing comedy, but like when you go on Twitch, who goes on Twitch to watch somebody write comedy? But what do you go on to Twitch just chatting for? Is it for ASMR? Is it for watching babes in bikinis? I don't know. I've never done that. So would that even be like a viable thing to do? Just chatting, writing comedy? Because I can't write comedy to an empty room. So what you're saying is I should, I still have Angie's bra from a skit that I was doing it with. You think I should wear this? You think people will come into stream if I wear this and talk philosophy and comedy? I forgot who I was telling that to, and they were like, why do you still have that if you're done with the skit? Well, fuck you, first of all. Second of all, she hasn't asked for it back. I made a GIF recently. Let me pull it up. This is the issue with having no Windows key. Where is it? Oh, here. I made this GIF recently. I don't know if you can see it. It might be hard to see, honestly. Oh, I can zoom in. So this is kind of... Here's one of my other ideas. Is I was gonna do, like... Because they say one of the best things to do is, in order to gain followers, is to have giveaways. And I wanted to do something like, let's make a joke together, a meme, it could be a GIF like this, it can be whatever. We can make a joke together, and if it gets like 100 likes on Twitter, or 1,000 likes, whatever, then that person or somebody in chat gets a random prize, right? 10 bucks, 20 bucks, I don't fucking know. Because that would incentivize people to write jokes with me, which is a part of something I want to do, but it also incentivizes people on Twitter to reshare, which also attracts more attention. It's kind of a win-win-win scenario. But that only works if there's people. I could do it with you guys, and we could write a random joke to see which one's gonna do the best, but... I mean... Russell Peters was saying sometimes he would do stand-up at, like, you know, small venues like a bar or something, and there'd be like 1 or 2 people at the place, so he would just put the microphone down and join him for dinner, because it would be fucking stupid if he was on stage and he was looking around and he's like, so what do you guys do? Like, there's only 2 people there, like, just go and sit down and, you know, chat with them. There's no point if there's no crowd. So, anyway. Yeah, it's the people that show up that make a difference, so I appreciate it. Jean. Every individual matters. I was looking, and it looks like the other Filipino streamers aren't streaming today, so a lot less likely to attract that crowd. Holy shit. That's far. Yeah, I think it's a great idea too. It's just the execution of it. I also, whenever I'm not streaming, I work on long form videos, and I have a video I just finished editing that I'd like to release hopefully tomorrow. Maybe I could email it to you and you can give me like your impressions for feedback. Maybe I could even show it on stream. It's like a 13-minute video, but it's why I left my 6-figure engineering salary to pursue a job in streaming. That is the title of the video, and it's a general video, because like if I put a video about engineering, right? Or if I put a video on Honkai Star Rail, that is a very small community that would watch that. But if I say, hey, I quit my 6-figure job, a lot of people are going to think, oh man, why would you do such a thing? You know? So that was kind of my thinking with that. No, that doesn't work. I need this. I can't. Oh. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, it does work. Yeah, everything starts slowly. Everything's gonna be small, but I have big plans. I have big dreams to make it. Oh, there's so many puzzles. Yeah, do you guys want to watch it like on stream? And then you can give me feedback on what you think. That'd be great. Because I need objective feedback. Is the pacing good? Are the points good? How are the... Should I edit some things? Do I need to add more B-roll? Reduce the B-roll that I do? Because I need this video to be as good as possible. Because it's kind of my ticket. It's kind of my attempt at gaining as many people... as many viewers as possible with a single... I am so lost. Okay, there we go. Alright, it's like a 13-minute video, so let me cut the audio on this. It's just, oops. There we go. Oh, let me mute the, Alright, here we go. Big money, no whammy. And let me know if you can hear this as well. Let me mute the lo-fi playing in the background. Alright. Let me know if you can hear it. Alright, here we go. Big money, no whammy. Come on, 5-star. Come on, come on, come on. I'm running out of money. Can you guys hear that? There's a very small stream delay, so I'll give it a few seconds. Oh, I can remove this temporarily. Yeah, you might have to turn up the stream volume up a little bit, but I'm already at max. Actually, I can turn up the volume here. Okay. All right, I'll let it play. Yeah. I thought you had a... Well, guess it's time to make a video. It's another video on another person leaving another 6-figure job. You've probably seen articles on people leaving their jobs. You've probably seen videos on why people leave the tech industry even though it pays so well. But why? And why do I feel so compelled to tell my story as well? Well, in order to answer that, we have to answer a few questions. Who am I? What did I do? How much was I making? And what did I learn from everything? And I feel like the answer might be a little different than what you expect. My name's Carlos Perez, and I know, right off the bat, it sounds like the Spanish equivalent of the name John Doe, but I assure you, that's what it says on my underwear and my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. In fact, it's this engineering degree that took me to the steps of Lawrence Berkeley National Labs at the beginning of the year 2020, and if we're following the timeline, that's exactly when the COVID lockdown first began. And there, I was placed on a really small team that worked on the HL-LHC AUP, which stands for the High Luminosity Large Hadron Collider Accelerator Upgrade Program. Yeah, the names got really long. So, while the majority of the world was at home, I was one of the few people that was required to come in due to the importance of this job. And for the 2 years that I worked there, I contributed to the AUP program and other research. And here's the thing about the field of science and engineering: deadlines very seldom shift, which means if you're expected to make a delivery, it needs to be done. And this is especially true for an international collaboration, such as the AUP program. You see, our team was small. We were expected to make these deliveries even though the timeline didn't shift. That means we'd have to double or triple our efforts due to COVID slowdowns. So there we were working, while the rest of the world stayed still. But we were contributing to the field of science and engineering. And I felt that that was very important, more important than when my friends asked to hang out on random weekdays because they were furloughed or, staying at home due to COVID. And this is something that stuck with me. Here I was contributing because I felt compelled to. I felt that this was more important than anything I should be doing at that point in time. But that little seed stuck with me, and it started to grow. Now, this wasn't the only pressure I felt at the lab, because for the 2 years that I was working there, the cost of living shot through the roof. The rate of inflation was massive because of COVID. And we were starting to feel it. The yearly raise that we got wasn't even close to matching. In fact, it got to a point where more than half of my monthly income went to rent. That didn't cover cost of living or other bills. And a lot of people were feeling that pressure. This is where one of my major flaws kicks in. I'm a huge people person. I love to talk to people. I love to get to know them. If you have to see me every day, I would prefer that you're happy to see me. Because if not, then I feel work would be a lot more miserable. And it's because people were so miserable, I felt that I had to do something. I'm pretty sure the desire to make people happy stems from my comedic impulse. I might be an engineer on my resume, but I'm a comedian at heart. In fact, when I was in college studying for my engineering degree, I was part of an improv club. I just thought that it was a great creative way to do comedy. I like to write comedy and I like to perform comedy. But between us, finding that kind of job on Indeed.com is a lot more difficult. And the only way that I could get around that was making short TikToks and posting them online, just as a creative outlet. So on my free time while working at the lab, I would just write short TikToks as a comedic outlet and post them online because I just wanted a different outlet to make people happy. I wanted to share that with the world. And with morale so low at the lab and people so distressed, in order to make people happy, I felt that I needed to do something, and I led a movement. But it was a union role. We couldn't just get a raise. But that didn't stop me. I garnered support from other techs, scientists, and engineers, and we got really, really far. It just didn't work. You see, I was torn. I've been working with these people for the past 2 years, and I felt that everyone deserved a raise. But I loved the idea of contributing to particle physics, contributing to something so much greater than myself, something so incredible in the field of science and engineering. But I knew it was time to leave. I couldn't make a living there anymore, and worse, I couldn't make a difference for people. But that doesn't stop me from being friends with these people. In fact, I still have lunch with them from time to time and keep in contact with them. So a few months after my 2-year work anniversary at Berkeley, I had lunch with all my coworkers and left. A week later, I was picked up by a local startup. They offered me a much higher salary. Given my work experience, my resume, and a letter of recommendation from the lead scientist on the AUP program, I had a pretty decorated resume. I felt that my skills and talents were finally being recognized. I could flourish in this kind of field. This new job was amazing. It was a carbon reduction company with goals of a greener future. The people there were all hardworking, they were intelligent, and I loved talking with them. And with that in mind, I felt that I needed to do the same. With the goal of a green future, I wanted to contribute to that. Just like I wanted to contribute to the field of particle physics, my motivation to do something greater than myself was there. So I had something to prove, and I hit the ground sprinting. And I didn't just work hard, I worked a lot. There would be some days where I'd be one of the first ones in, and also one of the last ones out. It got to a point where I was working so hard, I began to neglect the simple things. Work was demanding. Sometimes I'd have to stand there for 6 hours, maybe even more. I'd have to work through lunch or even forgo it altogether. But hey, that's what they say startups are, right? It's meetings about meetings, projects, improvements, where can we be more efficient? And because of this, I didn't just spend a lot of time working there, I spent a lot of time and energy even thinking about it. I went to company outings, I volunteered for company events. It got to a point where I started to neglect the other things, such as eating and going to the gym. In fact, I ran on coffee because they had it on tap at the office. And at night, sometimes I just wouldn't eat, or I would throw in a frozen burrito in the microwave that I took from work that day. In fact, there was a period of time where I didn't eat for 5 days. The first 2 were work-related, and then the other 3 were just me testing endurance, but I was really just drinking water at that point. At the amount of overtime that I was doing and the amount that I was working, I was making around $110,000 annually. But this came at a terrible cost. I started to miss out on events. I missed some birthdays. I missed one of my friends' weddings. I would wake up, I'd go to work, I'd come back just to sleep. Sometimes I would even work on weekends on the laptop the company gave me. And I would even work on sick days attending meetings virtually. The strain and the pressure was weighing on me. Everything I thought about, everything I did was for the sake of this company. And I wasn't the only one feeling it. You see, within my time there, I had trained other technicians while also supporting my engineering duties. You see, the team that I worked on was the bottleneck of the company. Our team had to constantly produce high-quality items at a constant rate. There were deadlines that had to be met. It was a startup, and we needed to produce. And the problem is, our team felt way too much pressure. So, just like before, I decided to advocate. I started having meetings, I sent emails, and there were conversations made. There were promises made. And then the unexpected happened. Our manager decided to quit. The thing is, with his sudden decision to leave, work had to be delegated quickly amongst the team, which included me and 2 other engineers. But the problem is, we had just finished discussing that we couldn't accept any more work. It was unsustainable. The team had felt too much pressure. The workload was too much. So we decided to have another meeting about this. The team wasn't happy, and we couldn't keep pushing our limits. But unfortunately, unlike the last job, there was no union to protect me, and the company then found it in their best interest to fire me the next day. That same day, another engineer quit in solidarity with me, and for some of the people that found out, they even cried because I wasn't just a coworker. I was their friend that stood for something that was right. I had poured my heart and soul into this company, only to be kicked to the curb in front of all my friends. And I even found myself in a situation where it had the exact opposite effect of what I was trying to do, make people happy. And instead of making people happy, I was just gone. I had no idea what I was going to do. I decided to call my best friend because for the first time in my life, I felt lost. You see, I was so sure I was going down the right path this entire time. I had made it to the promised land of engineering where I could make 6 figures. But for what? I don't own a nice house. I can barely afford rent. Prices in California are so high. Did I ever take a vacation? No. I felt that I needed to complete this work because there was so much I needed to do. In fact, I worked on my sick days. And at the end of these 3 years of working in this industry, I was kicked to the curb, betrayed. I'd been working so hard because I was sold a dream. And the problem is that left me with this feeling of uncertainty that the next job would be any different. So here we are a few months later where I sat at the proverbial crossroads and reflected. You see, I had dedicated my life and degree to engineering and science. I felt compelled to contribute to this field because we live in a world where I feel that engineering is taken for granted. How come we can't do X yet? How come Y hasn't been invented? All the meanwhile, those are being tweeted from a supercomputer that's being held in your hand. And yet I was constantly faced with missed opportunities. I missed out on being with friends. I missed out on making comedy videos. I missed out on somebody's wedding. People got to explore their passions during the COVID lockdown. This is an opportunity that I never had. People got to travel. People got to live their lives. Meanwhile, I never took a day off unless I was sick. And my compulsive desire to help people put me in a position where I either had to put my head down and do the work or help them. And that's where I've come to this decision that maybe I can choose a path where I don't have to choose between the 2 options. Maybe I can pursue that passion I've always had, but never got that opportunity to ever explore. Comedy. Now, I've only ever done stand-up for a couple of school projects, and I've made a few videos for TikTok, but I've never found the opportunity to make this a career. I always wrote my own jokes because it's a passion that I have. I wanted to share my jokes with other people. I wanted to make other people smile because that's something that I love to do. And it's something that I could stand to work endlessly, something that makes me, me.
As it is, I'm the one that wears heels on my dates. I mean, think about it. How many times have you seen a Filipino committing some huge crime on the news? It doesn't happen, because we're too short. I mean, can you imagine a Filipino trying to rob a bank? You know, they bust in. Everyone! Ay, teka muna. Okay, sige.
You see, that seed that had been growing in my head all these years made me realize a few things that I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll try my best to keep platitudes out of it. Most people have a plan, myself included, but everyone is one life-altering event from all of that changing, so nobody actually knows what's going to happen. Yeah, making 6 figures sounds great for a lot of people, Work hard, earn that coin, get spread around. But as I woke up early every day to go to work, only to come back home where all the lights were already turned off, I realized a few things. I had begun to miss out on life events and seeing other people. Who was really happier, me eating that frozen burrito at night, or my friends living their lives, exploring their passions? And I thought to myself that perhaps working just enough to be able to afford yourself the opportunity to pursue your passions is good enough. Because if it wasn't, the world would be way more miserable than working at a company that sells you a dream for fear of it being legally binding if they were to ever write it down. It's a dream that you work hard for, but a goal without a plan is just that, a dream. So you work hard to meet that goal, harder than you feel that you need to. You put in the extra work because you have a plan, and the company will watch in silence as they reap all of the benefits. And when the time comes, the company can move that goalpost and sell that dream to the person that's come to replace you. But never think that your work was wasted. Be proud of the things that you did accomplish. Hold your head up high so people recognize you. Thank you for the things that you did. Stand with you because you're not some tally at the end of the day on the company spreadsheet. And even writing you cards even though you're no longer working there. Of course, not every place is like this. I strongly believe that companies are changing. They realize that the majority of people don't want to live their lives this way. There's more to life than working hard every single day only to afford 2 weeks off every year until you retire. People don't want to work more than they should just because the company's asking them to. It's no wonder that the pandemic years brought about huge changes in careers, moving, or even silently quitting. I mean, if there was a place that I could work and everyone was happy, I would still be pursuing the engineering field. But regardless, that's just been my experience. And for the past 3 years, I can proudly say that I contributed to the field of science and engineering, whether it was particle physics or a green future. And now I want to be able to say the same thing about my future and hold my head up high while I say I could do the same with my other passion, making people laugh. And this is where you guys come in. This is the story of why I left the field of tech and engineering, why I don't want to pursue another 6-figure job, and why I'm not eating frozen burritos anymore. I might still be doing that. Instead, I'm taking the mental focus I had to work for 12 hours into short-form comedy, long-form comedy, and engineering videos. I get to pursue a passion, a chance that I never had. I love anime, philosophy, science, and engineering. I have tons of stories about my previous job or even studying abroad in the Philippines. I wake up every single day writing the next chapter in this story, and I really hope that you guys can catch my next stream, even watch my next video, and hopefully my next comedy skit makes you laugh. And I know this video was a bit long, and I had so much more to say, but I want to leave some time to get to know your thoughts. What are your questions? Leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer. Maybe I'll even make another video about it. But for now, thanks for watching, and wherever you are in the big wide world, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Alright, big money, no whammy, here we go. Come on, give me a 5-star. Oh! God damn it. Why? Alright. So that was that video. Like, I get that you're watching it because, like, you're my home skill a biscuit, but if there's, like, objective critiques, like, maybe the stock footage was a little extra, or maybe some points could be cut out, or maybe it didn't feel... Like, if there were aspects of the video that you didn't like, I need to know, because this video is kind of like the thing that I'm kind of betting it on. Oh, great. Yeah, that's exactly what... I am not a video editor in any sense. I don't actually know how to do special effects or anything. So there's music, but it's only lo-fi. There's a lot of aspects to this that definitely could help with impact. I've been doing all the editing on my own and like recording and whatever. So yeah, and I don't have as many people. And because I need this video to do or be as impactful as possible, all this feedback is very important. Yeah, I just don't want it to be quiet in some areas. But Rerun, if you have some expert advice or soundtracks that you can think of or have, then that would be great. Because as it stands, it's like I don't know what to do with this. And as for editing, yeah, it's just like the images that I have are the images that I have while I was working there. I don't have footage, of course, while I was working there, so I just hope that the images helped add to my credentials. But yeah, momentum and movement is definitely a lot better, especially because people on like TikTok, you know, they have like Subway Surfers playing and like they want something moving at all times. Yeah, maybe I would have to like Google like motivational music. So the 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 example of the video that I used was somebody that did a similar video. It was like why I left my $120,000 job, something like that. Yeah, that's good. Um, Let me go back to. So let's take some notes here. So needs better soundtrack, something motivational. How would you, if you were to make a suggestion in terms of like placement for images, because they're images, would you say that it should take up the whole screen? Should it take up less of the screen? How should that be placed? Movement, I don't know. Again, unless I use more stock footage, I can't really add more movement unless I use more B-roll somehow. Yeah, so um, that's exactly some of the feedback that I got. And originally, I did not have stock footage. That was the original video. It was just me talking with some other visual, like the comedy skits. But I don't know if the stock footage helped or did not help. I don't know how I would do B-roll. Okay, cool. So you think it needs more of that? Okay, so adjust pictures so it doesn't hide body. Okay, that's valid. I don't know. What else could I do? Like for the narrative. And it was a difficult video to make because this video is obviously my main bet on how to stand out from the crowd and pull people into my channel. So of course that's why I had to kind of beg a little bit. And that intro that I had is also new. I did not originally have that intro because somebody suggested, well, people need to know that you're streaming as well, so you should have footage of you doing that. So that was kind of like why I added that, so people know right off the bat that I'm trying to stream. So it's a video, it's practically me begging for viewers, which is why I had that Squidward gif of begging for viewers. But it was also a motivational video. So, you know, it was like a lot of elements into one. Yeah, so let's bring this up here. So I looked up similar, I left my 6-figure job, and yeah, you know, these videos do pretty well. Why I left, holy shit, 250,000. Why I left my 6-figure jobs, even though they're like tiny or smaller channels. And like this one did pretty well after learning 3 things, and you can too. And this guy actually, he did the same thing. He kind of made this video, and then he made a side hustle after getting all these viewers and followers. And I thought that was essentially what I'm going for. But I not copied, but I was kind of going for his format where he's kind of talking. There's a bit of his B-roll, and it's mostly him talking. The only other thing I can say is he's changing where he's sitting, right? So he goes from sitting here to sitting here, but he's still just talking, which doesn't really work because I use a background replacement. So it would look exactly the same if I changed where I was sitting. Oh, so you've seen his stuff before. But yeah, it was this video that I kind of pulled ideas from. Although his story...
I joined in on this cycle, which probably perpetuated the cycle. And looking back, it never really...
He has lo-fi playing as well
and I remember this
in the background. Although his story isn't one of like fighting and despair as mine is, but it's a little different. But yeah, changing where he's sitting is something that I cannot do at the moment. Like, as my camera is mounted, and again, I use a background replacement. So I would have to rely on either B-roll or other interesting stock footage. But something I did notice is that his stock footage or B-roll
different from what you're doing, and
it's not,
you want to be doing something else, but you're not trying because it's scary to go down that darker, more dangerous path.
What's interesting is it's more of like environment shots, right? Like it's not...
And being able to...
Okay, well, it's just him walking, actually. I think it starts with that. He's just walking.
Because I want this excited first lesson, and that...
But it's never other people in his stock footage, right? Or B-roll. Like it's settings, but it's never people doing things. And if it is B-roll, it is him. I guess you could say from an artistic point of view, this is him traversing a path, and this is what he learned while walking down the path. Or maybe it's just him putting stuff. I don't know. But yeah, alternatively, the only other thing I could do is get random B-roll as opposed to what do you call it? Stock footage. However, I find it would be very difficult to have B-roll or stock footage when I'm explaining my story of when I did get fired at the very end there, because that part is a lot more dramatic and has more impact. I feel that would be a lot more difficult to find footage or replace footage as opposed to my facial expressions as I'm telling this story. You know? So maybe replace stock footage with B-roll and replace B-roll Replace stock footage of other people with B-roll of yourself. How about that? Does that sound about right? Of what? A hike? Do I copy this guy, go on a hike, and just record that? I don't know if I can get footage of Berkeley Labs. Maybe I would have to ask one of my friends to send me footage of the outside of Berkeley Labs. Because I can't just steal footage of somebody outside of Berkeley Labs. Yeah. Oops. Okay. This is tough, man. Because I really want this video to do well. So I'm banking it on it. So this feedback is great. Cool. I guess I can start with that. And you guys got a sneak peek of my master plan. That is my... YouTube. That's kind of the only place I can post it. Who's this? You think you can add me? Do you know who you're talking to? 44? New player, nice to meet you. Do you know who you're talking to? You can't just add me. Ooh, TikTok. It's true. My TikTok has been doing really, really well because of my comedy skits. But the issue with oops. The issue with TikTok is that I don't know if that drives people to my channel. Like, even though my TikTok has grown, I think, like 300% in the past 2 weeks, and my videos are getting 10, 15, 20,000 views a piece. It doesn't... When people see a TikTok video, they'll be like, oh, that's nice, they'll click like and move on. But how would I take a 30-second TikTok and direct them to my YouTube and Twitch, you know? I think that is the golden question. No, I don't want to fight. Call to action. It's here. Right. I mean, that's fair. TikTok is my best shot. That's where a lot more people are. So I would need to dice the clip up in a manner that is 30 seconds long, that's engaging enough for people. But here's another issue. My TikTok is literally just full of comedy skits. So for the people... What the heck? I didn't know you could do that. Oh. So it's just kind of... It's a different... That's not right. It's a different feel altogether if I do that, you know? Yeah. So if my followers are like, man, this guy got serious real quick, 0 to 100. What do I need to do here? So if I can have this on this block in this position. Oops. So if I can do this, then I can flip like this. Yeah, that'll work. But I'll move this block here first. There we go. Oops. People love drama. We don't want no drama. No drama. She's got me spending. Spending all your money on me. On me. What you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk up in your trunk? Hit it, Fergie. Every time I turn around, brothers always gather around, staring at me up and down. Look at my, Nah. Yeah. I mean, no harm, no foul, right? Like, if no one's coming to my channel anyway, I can just post that shit. That shit is godlike. She's got me spending. You watch those videos? I can't believe I just read that sentence. My eyes. Oh, man. Darn, man. I don't think this will work, yeah. Right, it's those precious few seconds. It's just like Twitch, right? Like, I had a few seconds to impress really anyone that comes to this channel. And it's like, how do I then do that? Do I make some cheesy joke? Oops, no. Oh no. Okay, so I need to make... So I'll make adjustments to the video. And then I need to think about how I'm going to add B-roll instead of stock footage. And then I need to figure out how I am going to dice up the video in a manner that I can capture somebody's attention within the first 5 seconds of the video. Because it's going to pop up on the scroll, right? They're not going to even see the title of the video. They're just going to, boom, here's the video, what is going to happen, right? Because on YouTube, at least you can see the title of the video. It's going to say why I did this. You can search that. But for TikTok, it's just like, I'll take whatever comes to me. I'll pick up what you're putting down. Yeah. popping text. So, yeah, I think you were here yesterday when I was like, I've never used social media. So, I post to TikTok, but I don't actually use TikTok. Like I don't know what is like what popping text means, or, I mean, unless it's face value popping text, like it's literally just like giant words getting thrown at you. I guess I could do that. Ah, I see. Pag ganon. Yeah. Tell me why ain't nothing but a... You already know. As a fellow Filipino, the second you see a single line, a single lyric, you're gonna start singing. Like, isn't that what's popular in the Philippines? Knock knock jokes? With the punchline being like a lyric from a song. Tama ba? I think I got them all. I got them all. Yeah. Alright. See, I'm getting sexted by the Hex Club. Alright, so after I have to make our... You know, one of my friends said the same thing, where it's like, I don't know if this is helpful, or maybe I'm wrong, or I don't know, but you shouldn't doubt yourself, because if you have these thoughts, that means you represent a small demographic, or maybe even a large demographic of people that think the same thing, that had the same impression as you. You could possibly represent, say, 1%, you could represent 10%, you could represent 20% of people that watch this and have the same thought, right? Because if you had that idea, certainly someone else is going to. So you shouldn't doubt that the ideas that you have are invalid. So I appreciate all feedback because it all matters. How's that for a political answer? That's pretty good, huh? It is human nature to doubt. Without doubt, there can be no faith. $362, $426. Oh yes, I'm very close. I guess.
鬱陶しいわね。はっはっ、あの世に送ってやる。いや楽にしてあげ、ショーと共に散れ、スターレイファントム。しつこい。いやあの世に送ってやる。楽にしてあげる。ショーと共に散れ、スターレイファントム。おやすみ。ダンス戦闘準備。鬱陶しいわね。あの世に送ってやる。しつこい。いや
Boots. Ugh, HP. Defense, that's just better. This is also HP, but this is a 5-star. So I will switch to these and actually just use my old boots as fodder here. And I'll toss in some extras just to get it to +6. Well, that's not too important, but that's a little bit better. Cool. Alright, let's see. For tomorrow, I guess I can continue farming maybe some relics. Maybe I just want to farm trace materials. That might be a little bit better. Clara. Maybe Sela. I don't have a Discord community yet. Not yet, but I do have a plan for that. I've already made like a Patreon and other community building websites for interactions. Like, I was thinking like it could be like a platform where I could write anime reviews because I like anime a lot, so I could write like reviews for something like that, for example. That would be cool. But I will have a Discord eventually. think that's probably the move to farm some of Clara's abilities. That might be the move here. Cool. Well, now we're at that point where I'm out of resin, so I can't continue doing anything in the game. I have now officially explored everything. I've gotten all the chests available. I've done all side quests. So I can't do anything in the game at the moment. So now I can switch to writing comedy. But I feel like something like that would still require a community to, there we go, sort of do properly. And something I like about this game is, specifically because it's TBS, I can honestly just like do other things on the side because it's not like I'll be missing anything. Yeah, 5 more days until this banner is gone. I'm 17 pulls in. Cool. Let's see. What else? Writing like Honkai Star Rail memes, maybe. What do you think, Sean? Sean? How do you pronounce your name? Sion? Sean? Zion? I think you said it yesterday. I'm gonna go with Sion. I think the most productive thing I can do right now is to go back and edit the video as much as possible. Sean. I think that's probably the most productive thing to do. Also, now, I'll give you a follow so I can, catch you. In case I'm not streaming, then I can, maybe check you out on the side while I do other things. So, like, I could write comedy, but I would need other people to kind of do that, to bounce off of. Maybe I could, write other memes, but that's okay. I think the most productive thing I can do right now is just edit the video, so I think I'm going to do that, and then maybe tomorrow if I have another edited version, I can see if it's any better. How's that sound? I don't think there's anyone I know that's streaming at the moment. Yeah, no one else is streaming, so it's okay. I think I'll just end here. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, Sion, and all the other bots out there. I'll be back tomorrow. But until then, I will see you guys later.